Hey everybody, welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton and joining me as always is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And this week I am stoked as shit because we are finally covering one of my favorite series, Persona. But first, to talk about things that have happened this week, I haven't really seen much news other than I heard the Avengers game is hot poo poo.
Oh man, you missed a big news thing then.
Oh,
Nintendo had its
oh,
35th anniversary
that's right.
of Mario announcements, and I think quite a few of them are big deals. Like they're launching a Mario Kart augmented reality game, which I
That
don't know I don't know exactly how they're gonna do it, but if it plays like on Google Street View and shit, that's gonna be fantastic. Like
The way I now that you said that, I completely spaced it. I did see that was coming out, and what I saw, it almost looked like you're going to maybe walk through your house and
that's awesome.
record a path, maybe with your.
Yeah.
I don't know how. There's probably going to be some sort of extra gadget that comes with it or something, but it
Maybe it just uses your GPS locator or something.
that could be too.
A lot of the phones read the vibrations off of just you moving and are like step counters as well. So that could be how.
But now, is this going to be a phone game or is it a Switch game? Because the Switch doesn't have a
I
camera on it.
don't know. If it's gonna need a camera, it's probably gonna be a mobile game because there is already a Mario Kart mobile game. It's just maybe they're adding an AR feature to it, which I'm still stoked for. I love Mario Kart.
It looked pretty cool. It looked
But
pretty cool.
there are some other announcements. They are doing a like a Mario All Stars bundle, and you're gonna get 3 games in one package, and it's Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. I
Yep.
believe was the third one.
Yep.
Yep. And I didn't play Sunshine and I didn't play Galaxy, but I played the shit out of Mario 64, and it
Dude,
was awesome. It was
Sunshine was
awesome.
so much fun. Like Sunshine got hated on by a lot of people. I fucking love that game.
Yeah.
My brother had given me his GameCube, and one of the games he gave with me is Sunshine, and it was
Yeah.
so good, so good. I never played Galaxy, and
You're
I've
not the only one to say that about Sunshine either. I know a couple other people that just love that version, like love
yeah.
that game.
Our
Like,
buddy James from the JRPG Report, and he's a big fan of Sunshine as well.
yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
I have seen though that people are already selling, reselling those on the like eBay and stuff
Yeah.
for like double the price.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, if you go around to these like retro game shops and shit anyway, Mario 64, like the original cartridge, is already selling for like $100.
Yeah, well, basically what people did is because Nintendo said that they were doing a limited physical release, so
Yeah.
everyone just pre-ordered their copies, and now they're selling their pre-orders for double, triple. I saw one that was up for $1,000, and I'm like, good luck selling that. But hey, they might.
You know what's gonna happen? Nintendo's gonna catch all of that, and then they're just going to be like, you're not reselling this thing that we're putting out digitally. Like we're cutting you off. You're banned.
That, or they're
Like
just like, hey, let's just flood the market and ruin
A
these people.
AEW, All Elite Wrestling, just did that for one of their shows that they did in Jacksonville. They're like, we're gonna sell tickets to this show, but if we see any of these tickets sold on a second event, like a resale site, a third party site, we're canceling all the live tickets. So they're
Damn.
like, you can buy the tickets, but if we see you reselling them for a higher price or just reselling them at all, nobody gets to come. So m- maybe Nintendo will be like, hey, you can buy this, but you can't turn around and sell it. Like,
If they even care.
yeah,
they're like, they're
I,
such a big corporation that they might just
yeah,
whatever. Because I
but
mean, what they didn't have to do a limited physical release. They could have just released it normally.
yeah, well, a limited physical release is the start of the major video game companies heading in that digital only direction.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of games start getting that limited physical print, and they're going to charge so much more money for the actual physical copy, where a digital download will still be like your $60. A physical copy may run you like 99.99 now because it's like a collector's edition. They're going to give you a couple other sprinkles of sparkles to go with it, but being digital is the future. I mean, it's already here, but it's only going to become more of the focus of all of the developers and consoles and shit like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Eventually, I mean, there's a lot of people that are highly against that,
Yeah.
highly against it. But
I'm all
what
for
can you
it.
do?
Like, I know there are people who collect physical copies of games, and that's cool and shit. Like, it it's just another aspect of collecting, like all my shit and shit. But I don't have time, really. Well, I don't want to have to get up and switch games and shit like that. I like my digital shit all just right there. And then physical copies can get damaged and won't work anymore. They can fail you. They will just stop working, and then you own nothing. Whereas a digital, you can just move your account from system to system to system.
On that same note, though, there are games that don't move, and if you like, okay, so I've got a lot of fucking PS3 games, but if any of my PS3s ever shit out and I was unable to get another one, like I can't resell. I can't at least go and sell my games or anything like that. There's nothing I can do.
You can't move the PS3 games in your PS account to the PS4 and play that on there,
No.
because I know they're not backwards compatible as far as discs, but you can still play PS3 titles, I think, online or like digital
Only
copies.
only if you pay for PS Now and stream them. You can't move them on. No, and it's not your games. It's whatever's on
Oh,
their list. Like those games
uh,
are lost forever.
no, I think you might be able to pull them up on the PS5. Like, I know the PS5 is digital backwards compatible, but it's not physical.
It is backwards compatible with PS4 only,
Is it?
disc wise. I don't know as
Yeah.
far as
Well,
digital wise what they're gonna do,
I
but
think it goes back to the 3, maybe even a little further.
yeah, no, it's definitely not as easy as
But
uh
you're talking
PC.
PS3 too. You're talking an older system that this probably wasn't thought of when they were putting that out. They were probably just then hashing out digital versions of games instead
Oh
of
yeah,
the physical copy.
the
Like,
the PS3 store is absolute hot trash.
yeah, for sure, sure.
It's a
But like,
slow, buggy
if you're
mess.
talking now, like PS4 titles are going to move to the PS5, Xbox One X or
Yeah,
Xbox One X are going to move to the Series X or whatever. And the Nintendo Switch games, you can fucking port from Switch to Switch if you fucking one of your console, like if your Switch shits out. All you have to do is sign into your Nintendo store. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's the truth. But it's kind of like, okay, so say Steam. Say somebody stole my Steam account, changed all the
yeah,
shit, and I was not able to get it back.
yeah.
I can't play any of those games.
Well, that's because somebody hacked your account
Not
and
one.
stole your account.
I know that.
Like,
I know that. But I'm saying if I had physical versions of those games, then I could be like, well, fuck. All right. Well, at least I could still play them.
yeah,
You know?
but I don't know if that's in the same boat as like what the original, like what we were talking about. Like, just having those digital versions of the games is easier
It's
than
absolutely
potential.
easier,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's just there are situations where physical is more uh, just it's just better. But I don't get me wrong, I'm all with you. You've seen, I mean, obviously
yeah,
you've seen my Steam I mean,
yeah,
GOG
yeah,
library.
for
Like
sure, for sure.
I'm all about
And
digital,
then
but
I could see where the both of us vary on physical versus digital. Like, I have
yeah,
a 1 year old and another kid on the way, and going to have two kids within a year apart that are going to be tiny forever and not know that you don't mess with daddy's video games, that would probably ruin a fuck ton of them if I had
yeah,
physical copies, especially Switch games. They're tiny. They probably fucking swallow them and shit them out. Like,
and it would probably still work because those things are built to last.
yeah, yeah. Again, this is where like I'm a huge proponent of the digital only. Like, physical copies get damaged. You can scratch CDs, you can like break cartridges, your cartridges can burn out, they can warp, shit like that. Then you're out a game. Like, you can't like mail it in and get a replacement. Like, they don't guarantee them that way. They don't have warranties that way. But like the digitals, you can just download again as long as your account's not hacked and stolen.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and you have a working system
yeah,
and all of that. But
yeah.
that's needed for both anyway.
Speaking of like new systems, did you see that Nvidia?
Oh,
announcement.
yes, I did.
What
Yes,
was
I
it?
did.
The 3080 is going to be
We're going
$500.
Hans, if you're listening, I feel for you, dog.
Yeah,
Ryan. I don't know if you saw the back and forth on the Facebook page.
I saw that. I saw that. And
he's pretty hurt by this.
that's rough. That's rough, buddy. I've seen a couple articles that it's like the end of the console wars is here, and PC just put the hammer down with the Nvidia
Yeah,
being the newest one being $500. They're like PC ends all, ends all.
yeah,
And
man.
it's kind of true though, because Microsoft is now putting like Xbox exclusive titles on the Microsoft Store and Steam.
Yeah,
And PlayStation, even though they haven't really started doing it much now, there is plans for them to start releasing Sony exclusive titles, PlayStation exclusive titles to Steam as well.
yeah.
So PC is going to end up with the best of the other worlds, other than Nintendo. And
I can't fucking. I fucking hope that they release Spider-Man for PC because I would love to see that like
yeah,
with it because I played it on my regular ass PS4 and my
yeah,
PC is way more powerful than that.
yeah.
You know, and with
No,
this
that's gonna look great on a PC for sure.
that new graphics card coming out, I heard is gonna be able to push 8K, and I mean,
Jesus.
and it might not be the $400 one because they've coming out with three, and there's a higher tier than the one that's. But it's just funny to me that they released this graphics card that is better than this really expensive one, and they're like, yeah, it's like $500 instead of
Yeah,
1,500. Have
yeah.
fun, everybody.
They really brought the hammer down on other hardware developers and the fucking consoles. They're like, look at this, we're gonna put this shit out, and it's going to be just everyone's gonna switch to PC gaming at some
We'll
point.
see. One of my things was for a long time I wanted to get into PC gaming,
Yeah,
but it is a daunting task to get into because it's like, all right, well, if you want a good computer, you be prepared to either buy a pre-made that's going to cost you like 3 grand,
yeah,
or buy like what I did is I bought one that cost me about $800 and then
yeah,
saved up money and improved it over time.
yeah.
And
It,
that's
it's
it's just
still
it's
it's a money and it's a time investment,
yeah.
and you have to have the know-how to do it too. If you don't, you have to know somebody who knows how to do it as well.
Shout out to YouTube.
Yeah, for sure,
Because
sure.
YouTube helped me out with that.
But that's gonna be me around tax time again. Is taxes is probably going to go to me actually building like a high performance PC instead of using this shitty ass laptop. Like,
Yeah, man, it's a world of difference.
yeah, for
It's
sure.
even in this is a segue into something that I've been playing a shit out of this weekend. Or this weekend. Wow, I mean this week.
WoW, right? You just got back into WoW.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, I just got back into World of Warcraft, and a couple people from Tadpog Nation in the Discord, the Tadpog Discord. Shout out to Tadpog if anybody likes retro video gaming. That's a great podcast. Tyler and Dave play old games. Anyway, me, Grim, and Catchpenny started a guild together, and I've just been running around doing a whole bunch of stuff. And so playing it now on my new PC compared to when I used to play it on this laptop that I had, that no lie, every dungeon that you would run, that laptop was going to overheat and shut off
Yeah.
on the lowest of low settings. Like, I was not
Brutal.
running it on anything, and it was going to overheat and shut off, and I'd have to turn it back on, hope they didn't kick me to keep playing.
Yeah.
It probably did that. Well, I won't say every dungeon. It probably did it once every 3 dungeons, depending on how much was going on the screen. And then I remember my buddy Dustin, who, if you're listening, hello, brother. If he asked me to house sit at their apartment one time, and so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Him and his old lady were going off somewhere, and he goes, I had Janine install World of Warcraft on her gaming PC for you, so you can just kick back. He goes, I'm gonna leave you some I'll call it biscuits. I'm gonna leave you some biscuits in this jar that'll keep you set. They're there for whenever you want it, and here's some food and all this other stuff. So, anyways, I sit down to the computer and I loaded up World of Warcraft, and I was like, holy shit. This is what the game actually looks like. This is what the game is actually supposed to play like.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I was like, yeah, I need to build my PC. So now I have this, and I jump back into World of Warcraft, and it plays like butter. I'm very happy.
That's good.
And
That's good.
man, it's fun. It's
I
fun.
know nothing about World of Warcraft. I've never played it, never touched it. I think the most knowledge and experience I have from it is from the South Park episode. Like
Oh man. Okay, so
I did watch the movie, and it was all right.
yeah, it was a good action flick.
It was a decent fantasy film, but yeah, South Park's World of Warcraft episode is probably the only knowledge of the game I have, and it's probably so far from what the actual game is like. It's
I was gonna say it's so different and yet exactly how the game is at the same time, just depending on who you run into. Okay, so for instance, last night, you need to in order to establish a guild, you need 4 signatures.
yeah,
So I had Catch Penny and Grim signed, so I still needed 2 more. So I put out in general chat an Orgrimmar, which was like the main orc place, and it's pretty much where everybody on the Horde side hangs out. Oh well, okay. So I guess we'll start with that. You do know that there's Alliance and then there's Horde. You know that much, right?
no, not at all.
Okay, so Alliance is like
But it's like humans and
humans,
dwarfs and elves
dwarves.
versus orcs and shit.
Horde, well, Alliance is human, night elf, dwarf, gnomes, Draenei, which are like these alien type things, Worgans, which are werewolves,
Wow.
and I think that's it. If I'm forgetting one, someone's gonna chastise me, but it's fine. On the Horde side, you have orcs, trolls, goblins, blood elves, and
Mm,
Tauren. And Tauren are like these big cow moose people.
got you.
And then there's another race that can be either, and that's Pandaren. They're these big panda dudes, and I fucking love Pandaren. But anyway, my main is a paladin, retribution paladin. I use big sword, go swing, swing, do boom booms. You know,
Yeah.
lots of big damage. uh, and I'm just having a fucking blast, dude. I haven't even done any dungeons or anything other than running in old dungeons by myself and clearing them. But I'm just getting all this old stuff, like trying to get flying in the areas and get my rep up just for the new expansion that's coming soon. So I'll probably be touching on that here and there.
Yeah.
I did unlock the Nightfallen, which is one of the new allied races, which that's a whole other thing that we'll get
Yeah.
into if we ever just cover World of Warcraft one day.
Yeah.
I should talk to somebody. Maybe like we'll have Peter and Quentin on or something, and me and Peter can just talk your and Quentin's head off about World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that we could do that one day. Have a World of Warcraft episode when we both fall behind or we get a real stinker of a game again and we don't
Yeah,
play very much of it.
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like, I was like, oh, this game was really shitty, so let's talk about something else, and then we'll briefly cover the shitty game.
Yeah.
But today, we did not play a shitty game this week. I know you haven't really had a chance to dive into it, and that's perfectly okay, but we played Persona 4, and man, okay, so you have little to no experience at all with the Persona series, correct?
I know nothing about the Persona series
Okay, so
other than what you've gushed at me about 5, and
yeah,
I know you've been waiting to play 4, so you didn't really talk much about it. You didn't like anything, but yeah, I don't really know anything much about the Persona series. Like, I know they're up to what, 5 now,
yeah,
as far as titles go, but is there what? How many more games? It's like 6 or so.
there are
6
six.
titles.
There are 6 Persona games.
Yeah.
It started with Revelations Persona is what it was called over here.
Mm.
Um, but it's really just it was Shin Megami Tensei Persona over
Yeah.
in Japan.
Right.
And then Persona 2 was split into 2 parts, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment.
Okay.
We only got Eternal Punishment, so we only got part 2 to the story.
Yeah.
Until years later, part 1 was released in English on PSP. But then they didn't release part 2 again on PSP in English, so it's like, all right, so you play part 1 on PSP, and then you got to bust out the PlayStation 1 or get an emulator to play the second part of the story.
Yeah.
It's just strange. And then Persona 3 came out, PS2. Fantastic game. I've played through maybe a quarter of it. I need to get more on it, but this show started, and I kind of lost track of playing that. But
Mm.
it's really really good. And then they did a re-release of it called Persona 3 FES, which added a couple extra things, and it added a new in-game type scenario called the answer. Man,
Yeah.
my mind blanked there for a second. I was like, oh no, what is it? It was the answer. And critical acclaim. The major thing about that game to me that I was surprised they got away with at the time was to summon your personas. You had to point a gun to your head, pull the trigger, boom, and shoot yourself in the head, and it would summon the persona behind you, and your persona would do damage or whatever. It was wild.
Mm.
And this happened every battle. Your character would spin the pistol, stick it to his head, boom. It's crazy.
So
And then
are all of these titles like linear storyline? Do you have to play from Persona 1 through to understand the series as a whole?
not at
Or
all.
okay, so you can just jump in, say like Persona 5 is the first game, and then you can go back and play the other games, and
Yeah.
there's no real connection or anything like that.
Yeah, I that's exactly how I did it, was jumping in at 5 and falling in love with that game and then
Yeah.
going back. I don't recommend that to everyone because going backwards, you're going to just start losing mechanics and the games are going to look a little worse. And, like
If you're a
Persona
casual
5.
gamer, if
Oh,
you're
go
a
ahead.
casual gamer, I can see where that would turn some people off. But
Yeah,
if
and
you're
that's
a
what I mean.
hardcore gamer, if you're a hardcore gamer, you can understand that you're going to be losing some mechanics because the games are obviously older.
Yeah.
Maybe those elements to the game haven't been developed yet, stuff like that. Like, I know I still get a kick from throwing on some Super Nintendo games on my classic every now and then, like playing some old school shit when I'm tired of this like high end modern gaming shit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
yeah.
I I just know that Persona 5 is incredibly polished and flashy. Like that is one of the most beautifully animated games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And now, especially with Persona 5 Royal, which I still need to beat, but that'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
But man, it's so good. And the music in all the Persona games is absolutely fantastic.
I've heard you talk about that. The music and the soundtracks for the Persona games are you send me a bunch of YouTube videos all the time.
All the
Like,
time, and it's so soothing to the soul, man. It's such just good J-pop, like
yeah.
jazz. Persona 5 is more jazzy. Persona 4 so far has been kind of like rock and pop, and it's really good, man.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about Persona 4.
Yes.
How does the game start off? Like
All right. Well,
what is where does the story begin? What is the story of Persona 4? Golden, right?
yeah,
That's the one we're playing,
yeah,
Golden. Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted to elaborate on that real quick, and then we'll jump into the story. Is that we are playing Persona 4 Golden, which is the re-release of Persona 4, and it adds, I think, an extra month of gameplay, and it adds a new character, and you will meet her once you start playing. Her name is Marie. I think it's Marie, and she's not in the original Persona, so she is a completely new social link that was added for Golden. And if you max out her social link throughout the game, at the end of the game, it unlocks a new dungeon that they added to the game. It's kind of like the same thing they did with Royal,
Oh.
and they added other new stuff. It's like every Persona game. It's like since 3, they've released it, and then they'll re-release it with more added stuff. And
Yeah.
so Golden, you start out and you are nameless protagonists, and you get to name yourself. I named my guy Niall Okada. That's what I use for all of these. Although
Uh,
I realize I like the name Nova, so I'm thinking like Nova Okada. I don't know.
I don't know. That's
You know
you're
you know me.
going on two different genealogies there, two different name
Yeah, you gotta
origin.
mix it up, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta mix it up. You start off. Uh, you are being taken in by a family member, and I think he's your uncle, and his name is Dojima. I can't remember his first name, but everybody calls him Dojima. And you meet him and his daughter Nanako. Nanako is adorable. She is the sweetest little girl. She is just like one of my favorite characters. Every time she's on the screen, she makes me smile. Like, just makes you happy. Even if something sad in the game is happening, that kid will cheer you up. It's nice.
Oh,
Um, you meet them. You're at a gas station. He's basically like, well, I agreed to watch you for the year while your parents are doing whatever it is they're off doing. And uh, the town that you're in is based on like towns on the outskirts of Mount Fuji in Japan, and it's intended to be like just it could be anywhere. That way,
yeah,
they wanted to make it relatable, like a small town type setting.
got you. Yeah.
And obviously, like things were changed during English localization to make it more relatable to the English audience as opposed to Japan. But that's pretty much how it starts off, man. There you are taken back to the house. You go to sleep. You start going to school. You meet Yosuke, and then somebody dies. Like there's this heavy fog, and when the fog clears, there's somebody dead hanging from an antenna on
Oh,
top of a roof of a building.
is that person relevant to the gameplay? Or is it just like NPC selected for death? Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's this person that's part of the story, but I mean, it's not like somebody that you've met, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not just a random person that died. Like it's part of the storyline. It was I think it was a reporter
Okay.
that was killed, and turns out like then you know at school you meet Yukiko and Chie, and they are the two females that end up being part of your party eventually. But
Yeah.
you guys are all talking and everything, and Yosuke and Chie go back because they've been going to school together for a long time. Yukiko, her parents own a very popular spa and like bed and breakfast type place, so she usually helps run that after school. And then you guys all go to Junes, which so Junes, I would equate it to Walmart or Publix, Wegmans, like that type of where you can kind of go and get a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
you know, but maybe like more like Walmart. Uh, and Yosuke's parents run that, like they're the managers of it and everything. So he takes you guys there to feed you. Anyways, you end up meeting this other girl who is older and knows Yosuke, and she's a very pretty girl. Turns out, so she seems very like standoffish. Not like she doesn't want to chat, but like something's bothering her.
Yeah.
And later on, you are at home with Nanako watching TV, and she's complaining that her dad's not coming home because, oh, by the way, Dojima is chief of police, or he's like a detective. Like, so he's, working on these murder cases and stuff. Turns
Yeah.
out, that girl that you were talking to that was really pretty, who was kind of not really wanting to talk much. She was very soft spoken and everything. She found the body of the person that had been killed.
So she's like mentally scarred at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys at night there's this thing called the Midnight Channel, and it's this rumor that when it's rainy and you watch the TV at midnight on a rainy night, you'll see your true love appear on the screen. And so you decide to check it out, and you watch it, and you see this girl, and you're like, you can't make out who it is, but you see a girl. Well, then it's foggy the next day, and when the fog clears, that girl is hanging from an antenna dead.
No.
That pretty girl that found the other one.
Got you.
And yeah, it's wild, man. Okay, so I'm gonna let you ask me some more stuff because I'm kind of just rambling on. But
Yeah, no, yeah, I can see. Like, what are like Persona is like the title of the game, but is there anything in the game that relates to Persona? Like, where does the title come from? Is it
okay,
like
so the quote unquote demons, or like the I call Persona series Pokemon for adults,
Uh,
because you gather these demons, but they are your persona. Like, and usually as your character, like your party members can only have one persona.
gotcha.
You have zero on this like scale, which means that you can have nothing and everything. So basically, you can have more than one persona at a time. So like
Okay.
your character is always special. So you when you battle enemies, they are demons, and you can take them in as your persona.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
and then you can go to the Velvet Room with Igor and Margaret and combine persona together to make stronger persona, or a weaker persona that might be something that you haven't discovered yet. Because each persona you discover and get into your inventory goes into your persona compendium, which you can then open and summon persona for yen.
Oh,
So it costs like 9,000 yen, and you can summon a persona that you had used to
so
fuse away.
yeah, so it's pretty much like collecting demons, similar to Pokemon.
Yeah.
But unlike where you can like evolve Pokemon, you can essentially like synth or craft.
Yeah, to evolve persona,
Okay.
you have to combine them.
Okay.
But
Cool.
in the same aspect, like there are some persona that you want to get them to a certain level before you
Yeah.
combine them, so you can get certain moves out of them.
Okay.
Because when you
So
combine them, you can the new persona will have like 2 to 5 slots that you can take moves from the other ones and add them to
yeah.
the new one.
Yeah. So is this a similar gameplay to like Persona 5 where it's almost it's turn-based, right? And with
Yeah,
like a similar system set up to say Pokemon
yeah, I would say
where
like, it's
you
like a mashup of Pokemon and Final Fantasy, older Final Fantasies,
okay.
just
Okay.
turn-based, straight
Yeah.
up.
I don't really remember much of 5 when you brought it up and gave it to me for Christmas. I think I played maybe about 20 minutes of it, to be honest.
Yeah, you
But
didn't get into the meat of the game at all.
no, I don't even think I made it really past that first opening sequence. Like
No, no, which is just
I'll
you.
get to it eventually. I'll get to it eventually. Like I found out my new schedule at work is very favorable to actually getting some game time in now.
Good. That's what's up.
Instead of being the closers, I go in. I work a 9 to 5 now. So
That's what's up. That's what's up.
yeah, and I get weekends off, which is a double win. Like
Hell yeah.
yeah, but out of these Persona games, like what is in your point of view like the best features of the gameplay mechanics and stuff like that? Like, do you like the turn-based system? Do you wish it was a different style of play? Like,
No, no. I love it exactly how it is. The way that I play is, so each persona's got a weakness, right?
yeah,
And I'm gonna use Persona 5 for an example. Even though we're talking about 4 today, I'm gonna use 5 as an example. Flying enemies, you could shoot them with your gun, and it was called it would say weak. They're weak to that, and it would hit them, and they would fall down.
yeah,
If you knock all your enemies down, you can do what's called an all-out attack, and that's where your entire party just jumps in, and it's this big ruckus of dust and like an old cartoon battle type thing. And usually it kills all the enemies, or to bosses it does a solid amount of damage.
yeah,
Uh, but really, in all the Persona games, your goal is to get into battle, hit them hard, hit them quick, don't let them hit you.
yeah,
Um, if you go in and say the enemy is weak against wind, and in the game, wind spells are called Garo or Garu. So if you hit an enemy with Garu, it's a weak thing. They fall down. Whenever you do that, it gives your person another turn. So if you're fighting two of the same enemy, you go in, boom, hit it with Garu. You get another turn. Boom, hit the other enemy with Garu. They're both down. All out attack, battle over. You didn't get hit one time. You know?
yeah,
But using your persona, anytime you want to use I'll call it magic type spells where the persona does magical damage,
Yeah.
It costs SP, which is basically like mana points,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Or you can do your Persona's physical attacks, but Persona physical attacks take HP, like takes your health to do them. But it's worth it sometimes.
Yeah. So this, God, the style of play being very similar to like old school Final Fantasy and old school Pokemon. It's like this must have been the style of game that was super popular in Japan around that time. And I'm not sure how old the Final Fantasy series is as a whole. Like, do you know when the first game came out?
Oh fuck, 85, I think.
85. So Pokemon and this Persona series must be heavily influenced by that because they both came out the same year, from what it looks like. It looks like
Well,
Persona came out in 96,
well,
as well as did Pokemon.
yeah,
Like,
but hold on, because Persona is a spin-off series
yeah,
of Shin Megami Tensei,
yeah.
which Shin Megami Tensei is a spin-off of the Megami Tensei series, which I believe started in the 80s as well.
Is that like similar gameplay? The turn based
So, okay, the way
demon collecting
the
thing like that?
it is 100% the same as far as battles and collecting demons go. The Shin Megami series is a lot harder.
Yeah,
And it does not have the slice of life stuff. So basically, what sets Persona apart from the Shin Megami Tensei series is that in Persona you have social links, you have friends, and you want to build your relationship with your friends. And the more you build your relationships, the more uh, you can get out of them. They'll help you out more in battle, and it's all about going fishing and like going to eat at a restaurant to see if you can eat this big meal to increase your stats. And
yeah,
it's all this slice of life, like slice of life anime. You know, it's just daily routine stuff to make you bond with the characters. Whereas Shin Megami Tensei is just a game. It's an RPG full of dread with little to no hope and a very fucking heavy story. Whereas
yeah.
Persona is more like it's got its heavy moments, but it has its light comedic moments too. Shin Megami Tensei has a lot less of that. But gameplay wise, they're pretty similar, other than
Okay.
Shin Megami Tensei lacking the slice of life sections.
Yeah. So, how far into Persona 4 Golden have you made it so far?
I have gotten okay, so I saved Yukiko. So after that girl dies, the third victim that you find out everyone sees, or you, Yosuke, and Chie see Yukiko on the
Yeah.
TV at for the Midnight Channel, and then she doesn't come to school and nobody can find her. So you end up going into the TV world. Oh, by the way, yeah. So what happens is you end up going into a TV,
Mm-hmm.
and inside the TV world is where these people are getting thrown, and that's where you meet Teddy, who is literally a sentient, talking, big teddy bear thing. He is awesome. If there's a Teddy pop, you should get it because he is freaking awesome. He's adorable. But uh, so I'm really not super far into the game. I think I'm
Yeah.
about 8 to 10 hours in. Um,
How does this soundtrack compare to 4?
you mean 5?
Or, yeah, 5. Persona.
Um, so far I like Persona 5's more
Yeah.
as a whole. Um, but the song that plays in Dojima's house, it's called Signs of Love, is so fucking catchy. And there's a couple other songs that are on this Persona 4 soundtrack. Heartbreak, I think is another one.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good, man. They bring in like professional singers. I don't know if I sent it to you or not, but there is a Persona concert.
Yeah, you did send it to me.
And okay, so the girl who does the Persona 4 music is a pop idol.
Yeah.
The girl who does Persona 5 music, or I'm sorry, the woman that does the Persona 5 music is like a classically trained like jazz not opera, but like a classical singer.
Yeah.
And the woman who does the Persona 3 stuff, straight up like punk rocker. Just Japan rock, like. But watching them all do their thing together is just wild, man. I really like all of the music, but so far Persona 5 has got better music to me, but that's just so far.
Yeah.
You know, there are people who clamor that this game is better than Persona 5, so we shall see.
Yeah. How do you like? How do you feel about it now? From what you have played, like, what is your best experience from it? What is your worst experience from it?
Um, my best experience is just that it's another Persona game that I'm getting to play.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed 5 so much that I am really looking forward to playing the rest of them in the series. I have, if I could say one thing, and it's nothing against, it's just tropes, is that I noticed that Yosuke is a lot like Ryuji from Persona 5. So it's kind of like, I feel like maybe that Persona 3 is always going to have, or not Persona 3, um, Persona 3, 4, and 5 all have that character
Yeah.
that's kind of like the idiot, dumb, but good-hearted, kind friend, you know?
Yeah.
So it's maybe just like tropes being used again. But there are people who come in and they jump in and it's the first game, and they're not going to know that, so it might not bother them. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
yeah.
makes
So,
sense.
but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The first dungeon was really fun. Running around, getting all the treasure chests, fighting the shadows, getting my level up. It's been a blast, man. I've been really enjoying it,
That's good. That's
and
good.
the story is starting to pick up where I'm at.
That's
So
that's good. That's good. I know when you were playing 5, that's all you like messaged me about. You're like, dude, this game, this story, dude, this game, this story. So I think you messaged me at one point and is like, the game actually made me cry.
I
Like,
was gonna say, I was just about to tell that story. Yeah, there was a moment in Persona 5 that I had tears, literal tears in my eyes, and then 5 minutes later, something happens that makes you realize, like, oh, wait a minute, wait, oh, and then I had tears again because I was happy, and I literally stood up and cheered and clapped at my television, and then sat down, and then at the end of the game, when I finally beat the game, and I got like, I made sure to get the good or the true ending or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, I had tears in my eyes again, and it made me want to. I really want to play through Royal and check out what all they've changed and stuff.
it'll come up on our list eventually.
Yeah, eventually when we're doing PS4 games, unless they release it on PC. If they release that on PC, fuck, because
Yeah,
because of the success of Persona, Sega's talking about releasing more, and Atlas wants to release more of their exclusives onto
yeah,
PC. So
yeah,
give me Persona 3, give me Persona 5, give me Shin Megami Tensei, give me all of it.
yeah,
I want it all.
yeah.
Uh,
Looking up Persona Funko Pops, it seems they only have 5 available, like Persona 5.
yeah, that's probably
So
Joker.
no Teddy, no Teddy or whoever you were
Uh,
talking about.
is there a Morgana one?
There is, let's see, there's a Joker masked, a Joker without mask, a Skull, Panther, Mona,
Mona. That's
Protagonist, Arsene, and Fox.
there's an Arsene one. That's cool. Okay, so
Yeah,
Mona is Morgana, the little cat.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's cute. But that's fucking cool that you can get them as a Skull and Panther and stuff. That's Ryuji and An, but in their other world get-ups.
yeah. That looks like straight Catwoman from Batman.
Except it's all red.
And that
All
looks
red.
like and that looks like Katana from DC as well.
And what's funny is they don't pick their uniforms. Like when you go to that world, it's just like you just appear in those clothes once you get a like persona. And Anne looks down and she goes, "Ah, what the hell?"
I wonder how that would work if that shit happened in like real life. You just walked into a different store and your clothes just changed, or like you go from your house and you pop into a nightclub and your outfit changes just instantly. Like
Yeah,
a
it's like
glitch in the Matrix.
it,
God, I wonder like what kind of outfit I would end up in.
right.
Like,
Like I think Joker ended up the best. Like with his just overcoat, he just looks sleek. But
yeah,
yeah, then basically you have to just come up with nicknames, and that's what it is. It's like Panther and Skull, and those are the nicknames for those people in 5.
yeah,
But Dude, I'm super super stoked to get further into 4. I know I did play more World of Warcraft this week than I should have, but now that I got some of that out of my system, I'm gonna really dive into 4 because, like I said, the story's starting to pick up,
Yeah.
and I'm getting very interested to see who this murderer is.
We'll have to get you to put it up on our Discord server and or Twitch.
Yeah, I could do that.
I definitely gotta definitely since I'm probably so far behind now. I mean, I'll probably still put it on a little bit just to get a little of the gameplay experience myself. But at this point, I'm probably just gonna have to watch you finish it, especially when you get close to rolling credits. Like,
Yeah. Oh, you might get to watch me cry, depending on how good the game is.
oh, just wait till we pull the horror games. You're gonna see me cry all the time. And speaking of horror games, I did just add the like Game of the Year Collector's Edition of Alien Isolation to our backlog.
Oh, fucking wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, it's got all of like the DLC and shit included with it.
I
And
went.
then
Oh, go ahead.
I did add another game to our backlog, and this game has a little personal meaning behind it. I picked up Rise of the Triad. This is a remake. It's not the original that was released in '95, but it's a first-person shooter. And the storyline, a bulk of it takes place on San Nicolas Island, which is an actual island off the coast of California. It's about 60 miles outside of Los Angeles. And there is a little outlying landing strip there. It's a little tiny ass Navy base, and I was actually stationed there.
Nice,
And the fact
nice.
that that game takes place there, I was like, all right, I have to get this. Like, just because I like lived there, and it's cool. That island is also relevant in another piece of pop culture. That book, I don't know if you read it in like elementary school or middle school, but I think it was called Island of the Blue Dolphin, about the little
That name sounds
indigenous,
familiar to me. Yeah.
yeah, little indigenous lady gets left on the island after the Spanish missionaries come and like take everyone back to
Yeah, I do remember
mainland
that.
California. Yep, that's the island that they are from, the Nicolinos, whatever they call them.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. Um,
But the Rise of the Triad picked it up as a multi-pack bundle, so maybe next week we can put out a contest giveaway for two of these Steam keys that we acquired
yeah, I will
for
cook
Rise of the
something up.
Triad. Yeah, first person shooter if you guys are into that.
Yeah, and then you can either get wrecked by us or come wreck us, and maybe we'll stream it or something.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Um, Now I went a different route. I did add another game this week. I added a Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 Triple Thrill Pack. Just
Love Roller
because.
Coaster
Me
Tycoon.
too, man. And I saw it. It was like stupid cheap. Actually, no, I take that back. I got it in a mystery bundle on fanatical.com.
Nice.
And I also got a key to a game that, but I'm gonna hold on to this one. It's gonna be a special giveaway
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay.
But we'll hash that out.
Yeah.
We'll hash that out because it's like I could just I would just rather give these random Steam keys that I get that are extras to like people who listen. You know what I mean? Instead of
For
trying
sure.
to just do whatever with them, I'm like, fuck it, dude.
We like next week or something we'll put in a question in the episode, and you have to go on social media and answer that question to enter into the drawing for these keys.
Yeah, and maybe that
Because
way,
if we just do like social media spams, like, hey, here's this contest, we're gonna get spammed by like fucking bots
just like the
and
last
shit. Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Luckily, last time a bot didn't win. So, but yeah,
That's
if
good.
we could avoid that, um, yeah, we'll make that work. We'll make that work.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this episode's probably gonna be on the shorter side again, but the next episode is probably gonna be a decently long one because I'm going to really delve into Persona 4 and really come in and touch on the story and such, because as of right now, I'm still right at the very beginning of it, where we don't quite know who the murderer is, and me, Yosuke, Yukiko, and Chie have banded together and said that we are going to solve this fucking mission.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
we will.
I'm waiting for you to actually hit this game hard because I know you in the Persona series.
Yeah, I just need to pop that cap off.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll fire one up later and then just dive in deep.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that you want to touch on for this beginnings of Persona?
No, unfortunately, I haven't been able to touch it yet. Work has been so touch and go with my hours this past week, and then with the baby coming any day now. It's
Any
been
fucking day.
Yeah, it's been prepping the house and getting all the stuff ready. Like we just got a couple deliveries of diapers and wipes in, so it's just getting ready for the baby and
Yeah.
everything like that at this point.
And
But
so, listeners, there may be a slight chance that next week it'll be just me on here rambling a little bit, but we will figure out what's going on, and and how the missus is feeling and how busy you are with that.
yeah,
We'll figure it out as it comes.
it all depends. Yeah, it all depends on when baby Thor decides to show himself. So
Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's get out of here so I can go dive headfirst into this and talk, so I can really talk your ear off next episode.
yeah, for sure.
All right, man. And then, as always, he's Ryan. I'm Dalton. Take it easy, guys.